So just a little video about how to get 1,000 touches for all your players during a coaching session, especially under 7s, under 8s. Is massively important. They get as many touches of the ball as possible because it will help their ball manipulation and their understanding, which in the long term will help their technical ability. The better technical ability they've got in the long term, the better they're going to be able to perform the tactics that you want them to perform within your team structure. So first thing for me is a minimum of 1,000 touches, which I think is really easy to achieve during a session. I'll always start the first part of the session off with a ball mastery type practice where every player's got a ball each. They're using different parts of their feet and both feet to dribble and manipulate the ball around an area. Really important for me that there is some kind of interference in that area, not just going and beating a bit of thin air. There's got to be interference, players moving in different directions, obstacles that they've got to get around. I don't like static obstacles like cones. I prefer it to be players that are moving, because then that gives a stimulus for the players on the ball to think about when and where they've got to dribble to. After that, I'd always go, especially under 7s and 8s, into a load of 1v1 practices with constant goes. I won't have long lines of players, maybe 2 at one end, 3 at the other end, so that their rest period is really small, but they still get that rest period in. Then you can manipulate and change the 1v1s all the time, so they've got different things to think about. Is the defender coming from in front of me, at the side, behind me? What type of movements have I got to make to receive the ball? That way they're also thinking about what they do before they get the ball, which will dictate what they do during they've got the ball, and whatever skill they are using or what their opponents are doing will dictate where they're going to go after they complete their skill. I would then move up to 2v2 and 4v4 games. I would never go higher than 4v4, but with under 7s and 8s, I like to stick with 2v2 and 3v3. The main reason for 2v2 for me is, if you're not on the ball, you're always supporting the ball. So you're always involved in the game at all times. So if you're not on the ball, you'll be thinking about your movement to support the player that is on the ball. And then I would change the rules, or the constraints as some people call them, within these practices. I would never make it rules such as 2 touch or 3 touch, because you're restricting their decision making. I would make rules such as however many passes you make is how many goals you get. Or you can have play 1 touch, or you need to have a minimum of 4 touches. That way you're looking at, if I can't move the ball quickly, I've got to be comfortable and composed on the ball. So by doing this ball mastery that goes into then 1v1 type sessions and then finishes with 2v2, maybe 3v3, max 4v4, your players should get thousands of touches of football within the hour, as long as you allow them to play and you don't stop it too much. So that's my thoughts on how you can get at least 1,000 touches per training session. I'm going to share some more of this in the webinar that I'm doing at the end of the month that you can sign up for free. Just search for TSE Coaches Club on Facebook and you'll see all the links there.